Well, hello everyone. This is Jeanne White calling from Social Connections on Passionate Talk World Radio. And today we have Betsy Wurzel on again, and she is an advocate for the caregivers, and she likes to discuss different topics that may be of benefit to anyone, to most of the caregivers that are listening. And so I'm going to turn it over to Betsy. Betsy.
Hi. Hi, Jeanne. Thanks for having me again. What I would like to talk about today is holidays and celebrations. It is almost the middle of August. Next week is the middle of August. So before you know it, the holidays are upon us. Now, we all would like for things to stay the same. However, that's not realistic in dementia land. Our loved ones will change. Our loved ones sometimes have a sensitivity to noise, and they can't take large crowds. We need to be sensitive to their needs. Set them up for success. Nobody wants to be set up for failure. So if you're used to having a large Thanksgiving at your house or going to someone else's house, you may want to scale it back and maybe just go for an hour or two, or have a smaller crowd if it's at your house. Even though grandparents love their grandchildren, if a grandparent has dementia, the children might get on their nerves with the noise. I mean, children are children. I have seen this. And you need to explain to your family, this is a great time to educate your family as to why your loved one is sensitive to noise and cannot tolerate to hear children yelling or, when there's a big crowd. It could be all adults, but just it gets very loud. This is a great time to educate. Now, I know a lot of people don't want to talk about Alzheimer's and other dementias. And, the saying goes, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink. But at least try to explain the situation. And if they don't understand it or they don't want to understand it, then that's on them, not on you. I like to celebrate, birthdays. And in my own experience, Matt never did big celebrations. Excuse me. So, I still buy balloons, and even though Matt doesn't know it's his birthday, I still tell him. We still celebrate. We go out to eat, and even that's not the same, but we try to have a good time, and he really enjoyed it. He enjoys celebrating. Sometimes he doesn't enjoy going out to eat. So don't expect your loved one to be thrilled to even open up Christmas presents. They may not want to. The last time I gave Matt Christmas presents, he didn't know what to do. So we opened it for him. And since then, I don't really push opening up presents. These are just some suggestions. You may want to do one gift at a time. And like I said, smaller crowds. I've heard a lot of people with dementia say they get very confused with crowds and they can't take the noise. We have to respect this and honor their wishes. I don't like when people don't honor people's wishes or respect their differences just because they have dementia or even any other reason. Also, you can't get insulted if your loved one doesn't remember your anniversary or your birthday. It's not that they don't want to. They can't. Ironically, in my own case, my anniversary is November 1st. And Matt said when we were engaged, I need a date or I won't forget it. But of course, with the Alzheimer's, he has forgotten our anniversary. And you can't expect your loved one to go get you a card or to say happy birthday when they don't remember. You can't take it personally. I have told our son, Joshua, don't be insulted when Daddy doesn't say happy birthday because he doesn't remember. Not that he doesn't love you, he just doesn't remember that it's your birthday. Matt doesn't even know his own birthday, so how would he know mine? In the beginning of the Alzheimer's, well, actually even before I knew Matt had Alzheimer's, he wasn't writing on the anniversary cards or birthday cards like he normally did. And I thought that he was just mad at me. But it wasn't that. It was that he couldn't write. He couldn't put his thoughts down and write it on paper. So if your husband or wife used to write you poems, they are not going to be doing that. You just have to readjust yourself, readapt. I have found that also. And adapting means changing your routine, not just everyday life, but also for holidays, birthdays, and other special occasions. They can't adjust to our world. We have to adjust to their world. And I know it's easier said than done. It was very hard for me, but I had to adjust or go crazy. And so I decided to adjust and adapt and go with the flow. This is very important. I can't even stress this enough. We have to face the reality. We can still have good times. We do. And we do celebrate, excuse me, all special occasions, just not like we used to. When my mom stopped having Thanksgiving at her house, she offered to pick us up and drive to Pennsylvania to my brother's house. I said, no, Matt can't tolerate the ride or all the noise. And that's another situation to think about. Can your loved one take a long car ride? Can they tolerate that? Can they tolerate a plane ride? Think of all that's involved in taking a plane and even driving in a car for 1 to 2 hours. Going to the bathroom. These are things we strongly need to consider. Now, everybody is different. Everyone with dementia is different. So what might be good for you may not be good for me, and vice versa. You have to find what works for you. And don't worry what relatives think or what other people think. For instance, going out to eat is not the same. I've been ordering for Matt for years, and I cut his food, and sometimes I have to feed him. And then I think, excuse me, what do people think? What does the waiter think that I'm ordering for him? And I said, you know what? Why should I care? People stare at us. They're rude. But you know what? Why should I care? So I stopped caring about what people think. I know the situation. They don't have to know my situation. Although one of these days I just might tell them to video it and start lecturing on Alzheimer's. And that's why, what I wanted to say today is to start thinking about holiday time and start thinking of different plans. Always have a plan A and a plan B. If you do travel and you are at someone's house, make sure you have a plan, a strategy where you could leave if your loved one starts sundowning or just getting agitated with the noise. And, I think that's a good plan to have. and also bring, medication if they need it to be calmed down. It's hard to see the changes, and it is hard to adapt. But the sad reality of this disease is there's going to be changes, and it's up to us to deal with it. We could either sit in a corner and wallow in self-pity, or we can make the best of the situation. It's not always easy. I'm choosing to make the best of my situation. I try not to wallow, in the self-pity, because birthdays or holidays aren't the same. I have Matt with me at home. I'm grateful for that, and it's all I need for any holiday or birthday, and that's how I look at it. Be grateful for the small moments. Be grateful that your loved one is still there, and you can't say happy birthday or Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, whatever you celebrate, and make them feel loved and make them feel special. And that's what I have to say today. And I want to thank you, Jeannie, for having me and let me express my experiences and my opinions. I am not a expert. I am not a therapist. I'm just someone who's been dealing with Alzheimer's for 17 years between 3 different people. And I just want to, raise awareness on this disease and help caregivers any way I can. I have my own Facebook page, Betsy E. Wurzel, Wurzel, and I also have a page, The Face of Alzheimer's, which was started by my friend VJ Jackson, and I help her with it. It says The Face of Alzheimer's, but we raise awareness and welcome all dementias. Alzheimer's, to me personally, is what I talk about the most because that's what has affected my life. But we always welcome any dementia. The world has to know about all these dementias. And the one thing all dementias have in common is our loved ones will change and our loved ones will deteriorate. So we need to help each other, and we need to get our stories out there. And that is what I want to do, and I want to thank you, Jeannie, for the opportunity to do it and to hear other caregivers. Thank you so much. And thank you so much for listening to me, and I really appreciate it. Thank you, and have a blessed day.
Well, thank you, Betsy. That was really great information, and I think information coming from you or any other caregiver about things that happen on a daily basis. Now, here's a topic that's something that people really don't think about is the holiday. So I'm very grateful that you're coming on every couple of weeks and discussing different things that would affect the caregiver that don't think of it at this moment. So I want to thank everyone for listening to this series for the caregivers and Betsy Wurzel, and for everyone else that's listening. My name again is Jeannie White from Social Connections at PassionateTalkRadio.com. And if you have any questions or anything, you can always go to Betsy's page on Facebook, or Betsy, what's the page now on Facebook, Betsy?
The Face of Alzheimer's.
Okay. And you can contact her there for any information. So looking forward to hearing from you all, and I will see you on the radio next week. This is Jeannie White at Social Connections at Passionate Talk Radio. Thank you again for listening, and make it a brilliant day. Bye now.